As human beings, we all have positive sides to ourselves, and we all know what our positive sides are. We all know what our strengths are. We all know what we excel at. But there's no light without dark. And if we have good sides to ourselves, we are bound to have negative sides to ourselves. The most important thing is to identify these negative sets of feelings and emotions and states of mind. Coming up in our next video. Hello and welcome to another episode of Spirit Seeking with Pratik on Sound Health Solution. And recently we have spoken about growing our mind, growing ourselves emotionally and growing ourselves mentally. In that process, however, there are certain things that we need to identify within ourselves in order to make the process easier. We all have certain states of mind. We all have certain feelings and emotions that tend to act against us. Are you able to identify these emotions? Are you able to identify these states of mind that are secretly, subconsciously, or maybe even unconsciously working against you and your progress for life? Let's discuss about some of them. The first thing that I would like to talk about is perfectionism. Yes, a lot of us suffer from perfectionism, especially artists. Artists tend to be more self-critical, and hence they want their products, whatever they give out to the world, to be perfect. But again, as human beings, we need to understand that being perfect is not an overnight thing. It's a process. In fact, it's a lengthy process. Until and unless you start and complete whatever you have initiated without the fear of not being perfect, you can never really complete your tasks. And if you never really complete your tasks, you are unable to lay it out in the open for others to see. And while you might think that you see plenty of mistakes in your creation, in whatever you produce, true criticism shall be given to you by your audience. See, this is how it works. If you have self-praise and self-criticism just inside yourself, it limits the way you see your products. But if you let it out in the open, you are open. Yes, you are more vulnerable, but you're also open to constructive criticism too. I used to do that. I procrastinated a lot of my products. I procrastinated a lot of my works because I had a fear of not being perfect. But with age, I understood that it's not about being perfect. It's about making an effort to communicate with the people who understand and praise or criticize your work. And as you create more of what you're good at, you shall slowly take that path where eventually you shall reach a stage where you are good enough. See, perfection, being perfect, I believe, is an ideal thing. You can never be perfect for yourself or for somebody else. And it's more about the process. The second thing that we need to be aware of is judgment. Everybody likes to be a judge. And it has a very interesting reason behind it. When you judge, you innately feel superior. A judge is usually on a pedestal A judge in a court is usually in a pedestal. A judge in any kind of reality shows is given a pedestal, is given a special position, which shows that they are above other people in the surrounding. And we as human beings, we like to be important. We like to be kept on a pedestal. Hence, we tend to judge. When we judge others or ourselves, we feel subconsciously a little superior about ourselves. However, judgment also has a negative side to it, right? Because when you start the process of judgment, you have started focusing on the negative. Judgment is all about being able to find what's wrong with things. When you start doing that, you can find plenty of things that are wrong with everything, not just your work or your relationships. If you look at something with a lens of acceptance and satisfaction, what you'll find is gratification and happiness. But if you look at things with a lens of judgment, what you'll see is everything that is wrong with them. So try this for at least 21 days. Try to look at things with a lens of acceptance and satisfaction. You'll find instant gratification, and you'll find gratification in the long run. Another state of mind that one needs to be aware of in order to kill the negative side of one's personality is to be aware of your effort to control anything and everything around you. The world is created in such a way that at any given time, not everything will be under your control. There are 3 types of states of being. Some things are completely under your control. Some things are partially under your control. And some things are totally out of your control. Once you understand that and accept that, it gets easier for you. If you continue to try and make an effort to control all the things that are not in your control, you'll only be faced with disappointment. You'll only be faced with frustration, which eventually brings out anger. And everybody knows that anger doesn't really result in a positive environment.